Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
Today, we are looking at TVS Supply Chain Solutions.
So right.
Their second quarter FY25 financials.
Okay.
You know, they're this Indian company, but they're global.
Yeah.
They're spread across 4 continents.
Huge.
They're handling everything from shipping to warehouses, even repairing critical systems. We wanted to get a really clear picture of how this global player is actually doing, you know, the good, the bad, and what's coming next.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
I found some really interesting stuff
Oh, yeah.
in these reports.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that they snagged a contract worth over 2,200 crores?
Wow.
Or that they're using AI to find microscopic damage in soda fountains?
That's crazy. As well.
We'll get to that, but first, let's set the stage a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yes.
So TVS Supply Chain Solutions operates in 2 main segments.
Okay.
Integrated Supply Chain Solutions, ISCS.
ISCS.
And then Network Solutions,
Okay.
NS.
Yeah, and yes.
And those 2 segments had pretty different stories this quarter.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, overall, their revenue grew 11% year over year. Which sounds pretty good, right?
Not bad.
But then when you break it down,
Yeah.
ISCS was really the star performer here.
Interesting.
Showing strong growth and increased profits. Which is really impressive considering
I was going to say, it's a tough time right now.
it is
Yeah.
for everybody.
Macroeconomic uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a good sign that their profit before tax margin is positive.
Exactly.
Especially because last year it was a loss.
Right.
So they've managed to turn that around.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so ISCS is killing it.
Yeah.
What about Network Solutions?
Okay.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
I was looking at the report and I was a little confused
Yeah.
by some of the terminology.
Okay.
What exactly is Global Freight Solutions under the NS segment?
So Global Freight Solutions, or GFS.
Okay.
Think of it as their international shipping and logistics.
Okay.
Moving goods across oceans and continents.
Got it.
That kind of thing.
So that part of the business.
Right. That's the one that's faced some headwinds.
Okay.
Mainly because of those surcharges in the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Affecting shipping costs.
Ah, those pesky surcharges.
Yeah.
Okay, so even with that challenge,
Right.
they still landed some massive contracts this quarter.
Yeah, they did.
We're talking 280 crores worth of new business.
The scale of those wins is definitely eye-catching.
Yeah.
That 2,200 crore contract with a North American industrial giant?
Right.
That's huge.
It's huge.
It shows they can compete globally.
Yeah. And it's not just North America either.
No, they've got deals all over.
They've got a 7-year deal with a UK government agency for critical systems parts, and then another 3-year contract with a construction equipment manufacturer for all their implant logistics.
Interesting.
It seems like they're becoming the go-to
It does seem that way.
for all sorts of industries.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is the diversity of those wins.
Oh, okay. How so?
It shows they're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Smart?
Yeah, they're spreading the risk.
Okay.
Different sectors, different regions.
Got it.
It means a more stable revenue stream.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're growing. They're winning big contracts. They're geographically diversified.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Well, there are always challenges in a business like this.
Of course.
For example, the report mentions normalizing freight rates
Okay.
as a potential concern.
For the GFS division,
Yeah.
normalizing freight rates.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Uh-huh.
That one went over my head a bit.
Okay, so basically,
Yeah.
during the pandemic, shipping costs were crazy high.
Okay. Yeah.
Disruptions,
Yeah.
increased demand.
Right.
Now things are calming down. Okay.
Rates are coming back down to earth, which can affect companies like TVS.
Right.
Especially GFS.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like what we saw with the price of groceries.
Exactly.
Everything shot up.
Yeah.
Now it's slowly
Coming back down.
coming back down.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Right.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's not all about moving goods around the world, right?
No. They're also investing heavily in technology.
Yes.
And that's where things get really exciting.
Remember that AI-powered system I mentioned earlier? The one that spots microscopic cracks in soda fountains?
I do.
That's just one example
Right.
of how they're using cutting-edge tech to solve real problems.
Think about the implications of that.
Yeah.
They used to have to manually check those fountains.
Right.
Time-consuming,
Yeah.
error-prone,
Uh-huh.
and potentially unhygienic.
Totally.
Now they've got this AI system that's almost 100% accurate
Wow.
and can see damage that we can't even see.
Listen, it's like science fiction.
Right.
But that's just one example.
Oh, yeah.
They're also implementing AI-driven auction price bidding in Europe.
Oh, wow.
What does that even mean?
So it's basically using artificial intelligence
Okay.
to make better decisions about pricing
Uh-huh.
in real-time auctions.
Right.
So they can get better deals,
Okay.
spend less.
So they're not just using AI for flashy gadgets.
No.
They're actually integrating it into their business
Exactly.
to improve efficiency and profitability.
It's smart.
That's seriously impressive.
Yeah, and they're not stopping there.
Really?
They've developed end-to-end IT solutions
Wow.
for a Singaporean auto manufacturer,
Okay.
which shows they can adapt to different industries.
Right.
And they've also achieved ISO 27001 compliance.
ISO 27301.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to break that one down for me.
Okay.
Like I'm 5.
Imagine you're sharing really important information with a company.
Okay.
You'd want to be sure it was safe, right?
ISO 27001 is an international standard for information security.
Okay.
So basically it means they meet all the requirements for protecting data.
So it's like a digital seal of approval.
Exactly.
Got it.
So it builds trust with their clients,
Makes sense.
especially the ones with sensitive information.
All right, so it's all about building trust.
Yep,
Which is a good thing.
definitely.
Okay, so all of this technology is being implemented across their operations.
Right.
And, they provided a map in the report.
Uh-huh.
And it was really amazing to see
Yeah.
how widespread they are.
Global presence.
Yeah, both in India and internationally.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Which makes sense considering their 3C approach to growth,
Right.
customer capabilities country.
Customer capabilities country.
I am curious, though,
Yeah.
about that encirclement concept.
Okay, so the encirclement strategy, that's a key part of their customer focus.
Okay.
They want to be more than just a service provider. They want to be a partner,
Got it.
deeply embedded in their clients' supply chains.
So it's like
Yeah.
they're not just providing a service.
Right.
They're like an extension of their client's business.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But how does that actually translate into results?
Well, we've got to take a quick break.
Okay.
But when we come back,
Yeah.
we'll dig into some case studies that really showed this strategy in action.
Sounds good. I'm
Yep.
ready to hear it.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, so we're back.
Yes, we are.
And before the break,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about
Uh-huh.
TVS's encirclement strategy
Right.
and how they want to be more than just a service provider.
Yeah, they want to be a true partner.
But I'm really curious to hear
Mm-hmm.
how that actually translates
Right.
into like tangible results.
Okay, well, they actually highlighted some case studies in the report
Oh, perfect.
that really show how this works in practice.
Okay, great.
One that I found really interesting was
Yeah.
a leading Indian
Oh.
home appliance company. They were having all sorts of problems.
Oh.
Space management issues, inventory problems,
Oh, no.
delays, revenue leakage even.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It was.
So how did TVS turn things around for them?
So instead of just offering a quick fix,
Right.
they took a holistic approach.
Okay.
They redesigned their entire supply chain network,
Wow.
integrated their warehouse management system
Okay.
with the client systems,
Right.
and implemented automation wherever they could.
So they like revamped the whole thing?
Pretty much,
Yeah. That's a big task.
it was a big undertaking,
And it worked.
and it paid off
Wow.
big time.
What were the results?
They significantly reduced the inventory problems,
Okay.
streamlined transportation,
All right.
and created real-time visibility
Oh,
across the whole supply chain.
that's huge.
Yeah. So the home appliance company saw massive improvements,
Mm.
efficiency, accuracy,
Okay.
and they saved a lot of money.
That's what I call a win-win.
Good.
Everyone's happy.
Everyone benefits.
Okay, so it sounds like they're not just fixing problems.
Right.
They're really like creating solutions
Exactly.
that empower their clients.
They're setting them up for success.
Okay, so is that just a one-off success?
No, there are other examples.
Okay.
Another interesting case study
Yeah?
was an Indian two-wheeler manufacturer
Okay.
facing a big challenge
Oh, what?
with their global exports.
Yeah.
They were shipping
Mm-hmm.
what they call CKD kits.
CKD kits.
Yeah,
What's that?
completely knocked down.
Oh.
So basically all the parts to
Alright.
assemble a vehicle,
Okay.
and they were shipping these to like 75 countries.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
So what was the problem?
The shipments were often wrong, or damaged.
Oh.
So there were delays.
Yeah.
Dealers were getting frustrated.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a mess.
Inaccurate shipments are a nightmare.
They are.
Production stops.
Right.
Dealers can't sell. Customers get mad.
And then you got to find the missing parts.
Yeah.
It's a huge headache.
It's a whole thing.
It is.
Okay, so what did TVS do?
TVS came in with a solution.
Okay.
They designed and implemented a warehouse automation system
Right.
specifically for these CKD kits.
Interesting.
They had systems to make sure all the parts were there
All right.
before packing,
Right.
special equipment to prevent incorrect packing,
Wow.
and even cameras to monitor everything and make sure it was all accurate.
So they really thought of everything.
It was a comprehensive solution.
That's amazing.
And it worked.
It did.
They achieved error-free deliveries
Wow.
in just 3 months.
That's incredible.
And the best part is it was scalable
Oh.
and cost-effective.
So it can grow with the company.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're not just about big ideas.
Right.
They're about real-world solutions
Practical solutions
that actually work.
that get results.
And it seems like technology is a big part of their success.
It's a key ingredient.
They mentioned a bunch of different technology solutions
Yes, they did.
in the report, right? I want to highlight a few of them
Yeah,
just to show how broad their tech capabilities are.
that's good.
So one that stood out to me was their iLoads platform
I load.
for transport management.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's like a command center
It is.
for everything trucking and delivery.
Everything's all in one place.
That's got to be so helpful.
Yeah, it brings together
Yeah.
truck management, delivery tracking, billing,
Okay.
performance reporting.
So no more calling around
No more phone tag.
to figure out where things are.
It makes the whole process much more efficient and
Right.
transparent.
So it's a win for TDS.
Uh-huh.
It's a win for their clients.
Yeah.
And even the truck drivers.
Everybody wins. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What else caught your eye?
Well, they're also using RFID technology.
Oh, yeah.
Those little chips
Yeah.
that can track anything.
To revolutionize inventory management.
Okay, RFID. I'm familiar with that.
So they combined RFID with barcodes
Okay.
and created a system
Yeah.
that can track the movement
Right.
of every single item in the warehouse.
They know where everything is
They do?
at all times.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's pretty amazing.
No more searching for lost items.
Nope, it's all right there.
Okay, that changes everything.
It really does.
All right, so they've got smart solutions for transport,
Mm-hmm.
inventory management.
Mm-hmm.
What about freight forwarding?
Okay, well, they have some innovative solutions there, too.
Okay, tell me more.
One example is their LCL consolidator system.
LCL Consolidator.
Yes.
What is that?
So LCL stands for less than container load.
Okay.
Imagine you have a shipment
Mm-hmm.
that's not big enough to fill a whole container.
Okay.
Shipping it by air is expensive.
Right.
So you try to find other shipments going to the same place
Okay.
and combine them.
So it's like carpooling? For cargo.
Exactly.
But that sounds like a logistical nightmare
It can be.
to organize.
Yeah.
So how does this system help?
It uses automation
Okay.
and smart algorithms
Right?
to make better decisions about when to close containers.
Oh, interesting.
So the space is used efficiently
Got it.
and shipments arrive on time.
So it's all about optimization,
It is.
making things smoother and faster
And ultimately saving money.
for everyone.
Yeah, for their clients especially.
Okay. So it seems like this optimization theme runs throughout their entire business,
It's a core principle for them.
whether it's transport,
Uh-huh.
inventory,
Yeah.
or freight forwarding.
They're always looking for ways to make things better.
They're really leveraging technology
They
to
are.
make things more efficient.
Yeah, and it's not just about back-end efficiency.
Okay.
They're also thinking about the customer experience.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, they developed a system called eConnect,
Okay.
which is basically an online tracking system.
Got it.
So you can see where your stuff is
24/7.
24/7, down to the individual item.
That's amazing.
It is.
So no more calling customer service.
Nope, you can just log in and see for yourself.
I love that.
It builds trust with customers.
Yeah.
Reduces anxiety.
Right.
Helps businesses plan.
Okay, so they're not just tech savvy.
Right.
They're really customer focused.
It's all connected.
Okay, so we talked about technology,
Mm-hmm.
but what about their capabilities
Yeah.
and country focus?
Okay, so in terms of capabilities,
Yeah.
they're always investing in training
Okay.
for their employees.
Makes sense.
They want to make sure they have the skills and knowledge
Hey.
to provide great service.
And what about expanding globally?
Well, they're actively pursuing acquisitions,
Okay.
which allows them to move into new markets quickly.
Right. Acquisitions can be a really effective way to grow,
They can be.
especially in a global industry like this.
Absolutely.
But are they just focused on getting bigger?
No, they're also focused on being better.
Okay. How so?
They've made it clear they want to be a leader in sustainability.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, not just in their own operations, but also by helping their clients be more sustainable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're implementing green initiatives,
Okay.
promoting ethical sourcing,
Uh-huh.
even helping their clients develop more sustainable supply chains.
That's impressive.
It shows they're thinking about the bigger picture.
It does.
It's not just about profits.
Right.
It's about doing the right thing.
And that's good for business, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Consumers care about sustainability these days.
Yeah, they do.
And investors are paying attention to ESG performance.
ESG. Remind me what that stands for.
Environmental, social, and governance.
Right.
It's a way to evaluate a company
Okay.
beyond just the financials.
Got it.
So investors use ESG factors to make decisions
Makes sense.
because companies with good ESG performance are
Yeah.
usually more resilient, less risky,
Right.
better positioned for the long term.
So by being sustainable, TVS is not just doing good.
Right.
They're also making themselves more attractive to investors.
It's smart strategy.
Okay, so it's a win-win all around.
It is.
And they're also committed to corporate governance.
Yes. Strong corporate governance is important.
Yeah. What does that look like for them?
They have a comprehensive governance framework
Yeah.
that aligns with international best practices.
So it's all about transparency and accountability.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know.
It shows they're building a strong foundation
Yeah.
for the long term.
All right, so we've talked about technology, sustainability, corporate governance.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want
Okay.
to touch on one more thing
Sounds good.
that I found really interesting.
Okay.
Their focus on differentiated solutions.
That's a key differentiator for them.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
So in an industry
Yeah.
where a lot of companies offer similar services, right,
You have to stand out.
you got to have something special.
Exactly.
So what's TVS's special sauce?
They develop unique solutions
Okay.
that go beyond the basics.
Right. So it's not just about moving boxes.
It's not just logistics 101.
It's about really understanding their clients' businesses. I mean, coming up with solutions
Yeah.
that are tailored to their specific needs.
Custom solutions.
So it's like they're not just selling a product.
Right.
They're selling a partnership.
They're in it together with their clients.
Okay. I love that approach.
It's a key part of their success.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
All right. So TVS Supply Chain Solutions seems to have a lot going for them.
They do.
But we can't ignore the risks.
Right. No business is perfect.
Every business faces challenges.
Especially in a global industry.
Yeah.
Like logistics.
So what are some of the potential headwinds?
Okay, well, one big one is the global economic climate.
Right, because if there's a recession,
Yeah, that could impact demand
it could.
across a lot of sectors.
Yeah, if businesses are struggling,
Right,
they're going to ship less.
which means less business for TVS.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then there's always competition.
Right, you're always going to have competition.
Especially in this industry.
Yeah,
There are some big players out there.
it's like David versus Goliath.
It kind of is.
But I feel like TVS has shown they're pretty good
They are.
at finding their niche.
They're creative.
Yeah.
And they're agile.
And they're not afraid to try new things.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about the economy, competition.
Yep.
What about those geopolitical risks?
Those are a big one, too.
Like trade wars
Yeah.
and political instability.
Yeah, those can really disrupt supply chains.
Think back to those Red Sea surcharges.
Exactly.
That came out of nowhere.
It did.
And it had a real impact
Yeah.
on shipping costs and profitability.
It's a reminder that TVS can't control everything, but they can try to be prepared.
So it's about having a plan B.
Yeah, having some flexibility.
Okay, so external factors, they can be a big challenge.
They can.
But what about internal challenges?
One of the biggest internal challenges
Right.
is staying ahead of the technology curve.
Yes, technology
Which
is
is changing.
moving so fast
TVS needs to constantly adapt.
to stay competitive.
Exactly.
So they can't just rest on their laurels.
No.
They have to keep pushing forward.
Right. They need to be proactive,
Always looking for the next big thing.
whether it's automation, robotics, blockchain.
Okay, so it's a balancing act.
It is.
Keeping up with the present,
Right.
but also looking ahead to the future.
Anticipating the next wave.
It sounds like a challenge,
It is a challenge.
but also an exciting one.
It's what makes this industry so dynamic.
It is.
Things are always changing.
All right, so we've talked about the potential risks, both external and internal.
Yeah.
But I want to shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about the bigger picture.
Seems good.
So for you, the listener, this deep dive into TVS Supply Chain Solutions might raise some interesting questions.
I hope so.
About the future of logistics.
Yeah, think about those AI-powered solutions.
Right.
They're really pushing the boundaries.
Could these technologies eventually become the norm
That's a good question.
across the whole industry?
It's possible.
And what about the impact on jobs?
That's a big one.
Right? Will we see a shift
Yeah.
towards more tech-related roles
Potentially.
in logistics?
It's something to think about.
And then there's the environmental impact.
Right. Sustainability is a big issue.
Can technology help create more sustainable supply chains?
That's the hope.
And what about TVS's role in all of this? They're clearly committed to sustainability.
And they are.
But can they influence the industry
It'll be interesting to see.
to become more eco-friendly?
These are all questions worth considering as we think about the future of this industry.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We talked about TVS's financial performance, their growth strategy, their use of technology, their commitment to sustainability.
And corporate governance.
It's a really interesting story.
It is.
And I'm excited to see what they do next.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's all the time we have
Okay.
for today's deep dive.
I know I could talk about this all day,
Me too.
but we got to wrap it up.
We do, but before we go,
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone
Yes.
to check out the full investor presentation
It's on their website.
on TVS's website.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes.
Perfect.
It's got a lot more detail.
Than we could cover here.
Definitely.
Okay, so until next time,
Yes.
stay curious,
Stay informed
and we'll see you back here.
for another deep dive.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time talking about all the positives. You know, TVS's growth, their tech innovations,
Right.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, but we can't just ignore the risks.
Right. No business is perfect.
Exactly.
Every company faces challenges,
Especially
in a global industry like this.
like logistics.
So let's unpack some of those potential risks.
Okay, sounds good.
So one of the biggest unknowns, I think,
Yeah.
for any business, especially a global one,
Right.
is the global economic climate.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if there's a slowdown
Yeah.
or a recession.
A recession could really have a ripple effect.
Right, because if companies are cutting back,
Exactly.
they're going to be shipping less.
Less demand for their services.
Less revenue for TVS.
Exactly.
And it's not just the overall economy.
Right.
Certain industries might face specific challenges.
For sure.
You know, like the automotive industry, for example.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a sudden shift in consumer demand or supply chain disruptions
Right.
for key components,
That could definitely affect TVS.
it could affect their contracts
Yeah.
with those manufacturers.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the economy is a big one. But then there's also,
Geopolitical risks.
yeah, those pesky geopolitical risks.
Yeah, like trade wars and political instability,
Things that are hard to predict.
and even harder to control.
Right. Like, remember those Red Sea surcharges we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
It did.
And it had a real impact.
A real impact on their business.
Yeah, so those kinds of events, it can really disrupt things.
Disrupt supply chains for sure.
And TVS can't really control those external factors,
Right.
but they can try to mitigate the risks
Exactly.
by diversifying their operations
Uh-huh.
and building in some flexibility.
So it's all about being prepared.
Yeah. Having a
Well-
plan B.
A backup plan.
Okay, so we've got external factors,
Mm-hmm.
but what about internal challenges?
Okay, so one of the biggest internal challenges
Yeah.
for a company like TVS
Mm-hmm.
is staying ahead of the technology curve.
Yes, technology.
It's always changing.
Always evolving.
They can't just rest on their laurels.
Right, like imagine if they had just stopped
Yeah,
after implementing that AI crack detection system.
exactly.
They would be missing out
On so many opportunities.
on all the new innovations.
They need to be proactive,
Yeah,
always looking for the next big thing,
always innovating.
whether it's automation,
Yeah.
robotics,
Mm-hmm.
blockchain even.
So it's a balancing act.
It is.
Keeping up with the present,
Mm-hmm.
but also looking ahead to the future.
Anticipating the next wave.
It sounds like a tough job,
It's not easy.
but that's what makes this industry so exciting. You know,
Absolutely.
it's always changing.
There's always something new.
Okay, so for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
this deep dive into TVS,
Mm-hmm.
it might make you think about the future?
The future of logistics.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
I think about those AI-powered solutions.
Right.
Could they become the industry standard?
It's possible.
And what about the impact on jobs?
Yeah.
Will we see more tech-related roles
Potentially.
in the logistics sector?
Something to think about.
And then there's a sustainability question.
Of course.
Can technology help create more sustainable supply chains?
That's a big one.
TVS is doing their part,
They are.
but can they influence the entire industry?
I hope so.
These are all things to ponder.
As we look ahead to the future.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We talked about TVS's successes, their challenges, their potential to really shape the industry.
They're definitely a company to watch.
I agree.
It's been great talking about this.
Me too.
It's a fascinating story.
It is.
And I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too.
So for anyone who wants to learn more,
Yeah,
definitely check out their website.
we'll put the link in the show notes.
It's got all the details.
All right, so that's it for today.
That's a wrap.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time,
Stay curious.
stay informed.